Hi all, welcome to another episode of Berg Performance, and today I am really happy. Why? Because again, one of my favorite platforms has entered the shop. In this video we will show you what we can really achieve with a Berg Performance custom map. In this video what you will see, the exhaust modifications that we did, which is a stage 1.5 hardware setup, so the OPFs have been removed. Power output that this car can get on our own multi-map settings. The sound of the exhaust you will hear. And in the end, we will also show you the Dragy results, of course, what this car has achieved. Enjoy this video and I see you in a bit. So what we are showing right now is the difference between having the exhaust flaps fully open or having them fully closed. So we tested what kind of difference it would make if you keep the exhaust flaps closed with the external module, which you obviously shouldn't do because of the back pressure it generates. But come have a look. So what we have here, the blue lines, we are only showing the blue ones and the green ones here. The two blue ones, this is with the exhaust flap open, so it's producing 712 horsepower, 890 Newton meters of torque. With the exhaust flap closed, it is producing 677 versus 860 Newton meters. That is a 102 map. If you compare the 898 ROM map, it's somewhere of a similar difference. So it's producing 650 horsepower, 850 Newton meters of torque with the exhaust flaps closed. And if we open up the exhaust flaps, it is producing 690 horsepower and 890 Newton meters. As near as makes no difference. These are only numbers, but it generates a lot of back pressure when you keep the exhaust flaps closed, as you can also see on the lines here. So these are only the peak numbers that I told you, but you can see it over the whole power band of the car, that it makes a significant amount of difference in the performance and the output of the performance output of the vehicle. Never keep the exhaust flaps closed when you're giving it the full beams. So there we go. We have entered the magnificent BMW M3 xDrive Competition Touring, so the G81 version, on which we did the OPF delete. We have tuned this car on multiple maps. The map switching functionality, you can do it while you're driving the car. So you don't have to turn off the car, you don't have to stand still to be able to switch the maps. You just simply hold and press the cruise control lever down, and then you can see the RPM gauge showing like it's on map 3, map 2, map 1, map 4. The power numbers for map 1. Map 1 is the weakest map. We have done something similar to a CSL mapping, so it is producing around 570 horsepower and 725 Newton meters of torque. The map 2, that is a stronger 98 octane mapping, so 98 RON in Europe, so not 98 octane in America. That's a little bit more powerful than what we have here. It is producing 690 horsepower and 880 Newton meters of torque. Map 3, that's our 102 fuel from Germany, which you can use for these cars, or simply use 98 RON with approximately 20% ethanol added to it. Then this car is producing 717 horsepower and 890 Newton meters of torque. And on map 4, we have the track map. And the track map is also producing around 700 horsepower, but lower torque figure, around 800 or 750 Newton meters. Why? Because it's more linear than the other maps. You don't need that much torque when you're driving, for example, on the track, but the power is, of course, nice. For the power figures themselves, this car has a stock catalytic converters in its place, so it is not a stage 2 setup, and this is what I would like to call a stage 1.5, with only the OPFs has been removed from the car as a hardware solution. And other than that, it's just fueling. It just uses fuel, 98 octane. Really, really respectable power figures for something. This was the weakest map. This was map 1, what, like 560 horsepower. So the power figures are really respectable. I mean, only deleting the OPFs and tuning this car's software to produce around 700 horsepower with the 98 ROM map, it's ridiculously fast. I have clocked this time, I've measured the Dragy time for this car from the 100 to 200, and I was a little bit amazed because with the map 3 it was producing around 5.67 seconds for the 100 to 200 with the 102 map, and around 6 seconds flat with the 98 ROM map for a Touring. It's not a sedan, it's a Touring, it's not a coupe, it's a Touring, and that is really fast. It is really producing amazing numbers, especially when you consider that the transmission of this car has not been tuned with XHP software. You are not able to enable the drag race mode from XHP. If we do that, I'm like almost 100% sure that we can shed off like 0.2 of a second of those times, which is really fast, but it doesn't really benefit the longevity of the drivetrain, and it will produce some extra wear and tear on the drivetrain as well. So we would like not to do that, of course. We just use the torque limiter patch from the boot mode platform and flash the M3 CS software to the transmission of this car, which shifts absolutely amazing, especially at the high RPM, where you're just giving it the full beams. It is producing a nice tone as well. Oh yeah, by the way, we can do some nice four-wheel drifts in this car, but it is too busy on the road, so we cannot do that right now. But I think if you are looking for a proper tuning solution without touching the catalytic converters, this is perfectly fine. You're producing 700 horsepower. Oh, that sound. The sound is just amazing, especially when you're shifting at almost 7,000 RPM. It just goes, you know, it burps, it goes, it doesn't have any kind of delay. It just is so addictive to drive this car like that. And it was still on the weak map. Okay, now the 98 ROM map, the 700 horsepower. Up. Wheel spin. Wheel spin in a four-wheel drive car. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Really amazing. This car is awesome. For me personally, I mean, I'm a tuner. I will definitely do some kind of crazy setup for my own car. But for a daily driver, I think I will do that to, I don't know which one. But touching the catalytic converters doesn't make any sense. The extra noise that you get from it can also be annoying instead of beautiful. I think the exhaust sound combination with only the OPS removes and right mid-pipe fitted to the car is like perfectly fine. And for the power, it really doesn't matter. Yes, we have managed to get around 750 horsepower from a stage 2 setup. But is it really necessary? Well, it depends on what you use your car for, of course, what your goal is. But for me, oh, this is so crazy. For me, this is perfectly fine. So stay tuned. See you in the next one. Please let me know what you thought about this video and the power figures this car is producing. The calibration itself, again guys, it doesn't matter what the horsepower numbers are. The 100 to 200 is already telling, but besides that, the calibration must be perfect, and that's why we are specialized in BMWs. So if you're looking for something, just keep in touch with us and let me know what you think about this video. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Cheers.